parts here and you're jumping in. Beetle Percussion's in the room. Casey, you guys are inviting. Oh my God. I didn't think today was going to get better, but you guys are just pushing it over the top. How do I invite followers? You swipe to the right and you can share with your followers. You can share on Twitter. You can share on your social media. And guys, you guys are saying hi to each other. That's great. Jump in here and you start seeing the same names coming in and out, and make sure you introduce yourselves because this is a way for us to all hang together. So thank you guys so much for these hearts. These are coming in. This isn't going to be a very long scope because it's dinner time and I got to get home and see the fam and all that good stuff. But I did want to do a quick scope and just kind of update you guys on what's going on. Sharing is caring. I agree, Mark. Couldn't have said it better myself. So first off, if you're a new viewer, my name's Huei. This is I haven't even done 10 scopes yet. I think under 10. Hey, quick question. Where can I find the music for the Huckadick exercise? That's a great question, Casey. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Let me write that down so I don't forget. So, guys, what is going on? How's it going, everyone? His website. Yeah, my website. So, just finished teaching, and right now, the program that I'm working in, which is the Jumpstart Young Musicians program at Colburn, you're at number 4. Number 4. Yeah, this isn't a lesson. This is just me checking in and sharing a couple things with you guys because, like I said, today was just so many cool things happened today. And I'm going to share something with you guys also that I haven't looked at yet, but I thought we would do it together and kind of experience it together as well. But the program that I work at is called the Colburn Jumpstart Young Musicians Program. We have 105 6th through 8th graders who are learning instruments for the first time. And this is the first year that we've had students who have been in the program for 3 years. They come to the school and rehearse together for 10.5 hours a week, 5 days a week. They get a private lesson, a small group lesson, and we play in a full ensemble together. And this year is the first year that we did a jury with all of our students. You know, up to this point, it's just been building the program, teaching people how to play their instruments. And this year we said, hey, we've got to kind of check in and see, first off, how are the students doing? Ultimately, we're preparing them to become mature young musicians, you know, and like, I'm just curious, how many of you guys still get nervous when you take an audition or do a jury? I mean, like, put some parts over here or leave me a comment. I mean, like, nervousness. Yeah, when you got to get to play, you have to play by yourself, and obviously you're like, ugh, and you feel scared, right? Yeah. So, first off, I want to say two things about that. First off, that's normal. You're a human. And I remember I used to think, yeah, like, I shouldn't get nervous because if you're a real performer, you're not going to get self 1, self 2, right? Inside. And I remember thinking, oh, well, I shouldn't get nervous if I'm a real mature performer. And I remember when I was studying for my master's degree at Northwestern, and my professor, who's Michael Bird, he's now the director of winds and percussion at Eastman School of Music, he said to us during master class that he still gets nervous when he performs. Now, if you don't know who Michael Bird is and you're a percussionist, you're going to go on YouTube and you're going to look him up afterwards and you're going to see some killer videos by this guy. But he's not only a great teacher, performer, composer, the whole deal, but he is a monster performer. And if he still gets nervous, then for me it was very humanizing because I thought, wow, if he still gets nervous, then it must be okay for me to still get nervous when I perform. And I still do get nervous. But I think the thing that I've, Burritt, B-U-R-R-I-T-T, and Michael Burritt. And the thing I think I've figured out and I've gotten better at as a performer is that kind of, you know, excited energy you feel before you perform, instead of that turning into a debilitating condition that causes you to tense up or your hands to sweat or your hands to shake. Somehow I've figured out how to take that energy and turn it into like performance energy. You know, it gets me gassed up. Even now, before I hit, okay, start broadcast, I think, okay, what am I going to talk about? Okay, got that, yeah, okay. Here we go, boom. And I have to say a big part of it making it easier for me is seeing you guys come in so quickly and you guys are sharing and you're getting hearts, and I get a lot of messages afterwards saying like, hey, great scope, that's awesome, thanks Wayne, that really helped me. And I gotta tell you guys that when I hear that from you, that's also very reinforcing for me, and I wanted to let you guys know that I really appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing, and it encourages me to create more content for you. So, thank you very much. On that note, how have you used that nervous energy to your advantage? I think sometimes people say, oh, you know, if you're nervous, you have more adrenaline, and then you can channel that into your performance. But I've also had instances where you take that adrenaline and you channel it into your performance, and it causes you to overcompensate. In other words, how many of you have practiced, you get up there, you get nervous, you perform, and then you start like 30 clicks faster than you meant to, and then all of a sudden you're too fast, and you're like, oh God, I can't stop, what's happening? The wagon's going down the hill, the wheels are shaking, you're like, right? And part of that is having to make yourself nervous, practice getting nervous, and still getting over it. You know, so one thing I tell my students to do a lot is if you want to put yourself in that audition scenario where you feel nervous, one, you perform for your friends, but two, you can also videotape yourself when you practice, when you perform. When you something about that red light going on, and you see that red light, all of a sudden you're like, change everything, right? And you know, I was just talking to Mark about this today. The more you do this, the more comfortable you get about it, and the easier it gets, right? And the same thing happens with performing your instrument as well. Okay, so, excuse me, I'm still getting over this cough. I feel like I'm like a week out, and I'll get rid of it. I'm drinking as much water as I can. So earlier, there's a question about where do we get the handouts for yesterday's lesson. Thank you for these hearts. I imagine many of you were in the lesson yesterday. And if you were there for the lesson, you saw that we talked about huckadicks and paradiddles. This handout is available on my website. For every lesson I've done so far, what's up, Carl? We're talking about yesterday's lesson. For every handout, sorry, let me back up. For every lesson I've done, I've made a page with show notes and the handout for that specific lesson. I've done 3 lessons so far. Yesterday was about huckadicks. So you can see that there's layers of each one that are broken down. They're coming down, and there are show notes that talk about how this exercise works and how it was used, and I tell you about where I learned it, etc. So if you go to the bio of my link here, you'll see that it's huei-yuan.com/Periscope for you visual learners. It's here. Boom. And you go in there and you'll see a table of contents of the replay Periscopes that I've got. So for the Periscopes that I think will be valuable for people in the future, I re-record them and then I post them on my YouTube page. And so for each lesson, what I plan to do is give show notes, a replay of the video in case you missed the lesson, and a free downloadable handout, PDF, of the handout for the lesson, right? And I know that drumming, learning how to drum by rote, watching someone and copying, that's a skill, but also learning how to read is a skill. And what I want to encourage you guys is if you're good at drumming by rote and learning by rote, good, practice your reading. If you're good at reading, but you're not good at learning things by rote, then practice learning by rote. I used to be terrible at learning things by rote, and someone would be like, okay, play this. Let me tilt this down. Somebody like, they'd be like, play that, and I'd be like, what was it? And I could only learn like 2 beats at a time, but eventually people could say like, play 2 paradiddle diddles, a duple roll for 4 counts. Right? Something like that. Whatever. You're just learning by rote. So work on the one that you're not as good at. And then if you're good at learning things by rote and learning things from reading music, and you can sight read like a machine, man, you'll be a tour de force when it comes to playing percussion. So work on those. So this is all to say, check out the page. All that stuff is free, and it's just there to help you guys as you're getting better. And I will say some of you have done a really good job of sending questions. The first lesson I did was to address a question that I saw someone ask on Periscope earlier today. And then the last Periscope from last night was a question that Pat asked me. So I've got 3 or 4 more lessons planned out, but if you have a specific thing that you want me to do a lesson on, you can either send me a tweet, you can let me know in the comments here, provided that I see it, and you can also direct message me on Instagram, which is where I spend most of my time if I'm not Periscoping. So that brings me to the next point. So, guys, check this out. I am like a baby squirrel's hair away from 1,000 followers on Instagram. Last night, before I went to sleep, I had 999 followers. I mean, that's kind of a cool number, right? So, before I open my Instagram, I thought we would open it together. Actually, I just opened it, so let's see what happens. I haven't looked at it today yet, so. Whoa! Look, 1 more follower just now. 1,003. HTHS, thanks for that follow, man. 1003. Yay! This is silly. It's just a note, right? Left hand strength lessons, possibly? Okay. I'm going to watch the replay. I'll write all the lessons. So, guys, just put it in the comments if you have a question, and I'll watch the replay later. Thank you, Beautiful Percussion. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Alec. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, No Latitude, Talon. Thank you, guys. So, I wanted to talk about this real quick because it's funny because one thing I think I've realized is that it's not, thank you guys, thank you for all the congrats and the hearts and the comments, guys. The number itself is not why I get excited about the Instagram account, right? I think there's some people who use Instagram and it's like, if I get more followers and a higher number, there's a sense of social capital and self-worth that comes with it. And for me, it's not about just getting a number and having a high number, right? And for me, this 1,000 people, you have a great count and people get a lot out of it. Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. For me, this number, it is a benchmark in the sense that it's a reminder of all the meaningful connections I've made over the last 3 months. Somewhere around 300. I mean, literally when I followed all my friends that I had on Facebook when I first got on it, it was like 150 people. And then I started just checking out other stuff and what was going on. And literally around 350 or 400, I started commenting back to every single person who followed my account. And some people don't write back, which is fine. I mean, like, some people don't use the direct messaging system. They just, check out people's photos and heart them. Like you guys are punching hearts over here. Appreciate that. Some people did write back, though. And a lot of the comments and the conversations that I've had since I did Instagram has just completely changed my mind about how technology works, social media, and all the meaningful connections that you can make through on here. I mean, there are people on here that I talk to on a weekly basis now in real life because we started talking on Instagram. What's it called so I can follow? It's my username. So basically, all the platforms I'm on, which include Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, use this. I drew this. What do you think? Right, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and it's the same handle for Periscope at Huei-Yuan.com. I saw a screenshot. I'll do this again. If you'd like to take a screenshot, and then you share it and say, "Hey guys, this guy's awesome." You can see all the. This is from a previous lesson. Some of the other stuff I wrote in the background, right, on the other side of this page. I remember when you wrote me. It felt great that you actually cared about your fans. Yeah. Seriously, guys, I appreciate that, and that's helpful. Actually, that's some of the first week feedback I've gotten about actually writing. I think Pat also mentioned he's like, it makes a big difference that you're this close to people who follow you. Really, it's just about expanding the community, the reach. And some people are about talk about online dating, for example. People online date, and I actually think online dating makes perfect sense because the group that you're actually around might be your social group that you're interacting every day. But if you're looking for people with specific qualities and you're casting a much wider reach in that than you would ever be able to do, right? And it's the same thing for drumming. You've got drummers from all over the world who are interested in drumming, and the fact that we can connect online and have that broader reach is really appealing to me. So the interactions that I've had online have been really meaningful. Thank you, Talent. It's all about good etiquette. I want to mention a video that Carl sent me last week, and it's a Gary Vaynerchuk video. And in this video, he talks about how some people talk about their community, and they're like, "Oh, I don't have a following." And then he proceeds to flip out and say, "Look, if you've got even one person listening to you, you should be so thankful that there's even one person listening to you. And if you have one person listening to you, you have a community." And the sense of belonging is a natural human condition that everyone wants to feel. Everyone wants to feel like they belong somewhere. And I guess this is all to say that I really appreciate the fact that there are 1,003 people who have decided to hit the follow button. And it's not the number so much, but it is a benchmark for me personally to see that it's a reminder that I have made many, many meaningful connections over Instagram the last few months. And it's cool. I'm digging it, and I'm looking forward to doing more of it. So those of you who already follow on Instagram, thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you haven't followed yet and you'd be interested, you're kind of scoping it out right now. Totally get it. Check it out. Just jumped on board yesterday. Curious about your story. Cool. Thanks, guys. Next is 2K. Oh my God, Connor, I like the way you think. I was telling Carl that I was like, man, once I hit 1,000, that'll be good. And I'm gonna keep working on this other. He's like, dude, 1,000. The next up is to hit 10,000, right? It is about respecting people. Okay, so talked about Instagram. Talked about lessons, the handouts. Check out the Periscope page. Follow and subscribe. I don't have Snapchat. That's another thing that Carl keeps talking to me about, and Gary Vaynerchuk talks about Snapchat also. What I think I want to do is, I'm still learning about Instagram and Periscope, and rather than doing a lot of, I know, Mark, you're going to teach me about that too, between you and Carl, right? But here's my plan. I'm going to focus on Instagram and Periscope. I'm going to get really good at those two things, and then once I'm, get some momentum and feel like I understand how those two things work, then I'll add another social media platform. It's better, I think, to be really good at a couple things and then grow than it is to not, it's the whole jack of all trades, master of none thing. So I'm going to focus on Periscope and Instagram. On that note, if you don't subscribe yet, you can do that by tapping this little person in the corner and then hit subscribe, or you can swipe right and then you can also subscribe there. That way you'll get notifications when I do my other Periscopes. Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, follow me, and I will do my best to put out good content for you guys. On that note, content. Talking to Mark today, and he's telling me that there are a lot of people who are interested in marimba, concert snare drum, and timpani lessons. What do you guys think? Is there anyone in here? Heart it up, give me a comment. So far, I've just been talking about rudimental drumming, but are there people in here who would be interested in getting some additional resources, lessons, and keyboard playing? Are there any keyboard players in the room? I'd like to learn marimba. Awesome. Casey, we got one. The reason I ask is, I love rudimental drumming. I love marching percussion. I did my master's degree in classical percussion. In general, I love all music and I love percussion, right? And what I notice is that I've made lots of videos for my classical percussion students also, for Allstate, things like that. And I went through phases. So like 6th grade through 8th grade, it was all about classical percussion for me. And my teacher was, thank him. I want to thank him, when I still talk to him and see him now, and I thank him for making sure that I was well-rounded. And we did snare drum, xylophone / marimba, and timpani. And it wasn't until high school that, as an 8th grader, excuse me, the high school marching band would practice here. The middle school was here. So literally every day at 4 o'clock, the bell would ring, and I would run out the back band room door, and there was a fence here. It was like a chain link fence. And I would stand there, and I'd look through the chain link fence, and you could see the band rehearsing. And I remember I could see the drum line, doing their drill. And it got to the point where I would super fanboy the drumline guys. Like, as an 8th grader, I could tell you who was standing where. Like, that's Billy, that's Renee, that's Sam, that's so-and-so. And I was that, super fan 8th grader that would show up to Friday night football games and geek out in the lot of the high school drumline. And it got to the point, yeah, yes, Matt, same, right? And it got to the point where the drum instructor at the high school knew who I was while I was still in 8th grade. And even the drumline guys would be like, yo, Huei, what's going on? Good to see you, man. And that was my initiation into, drumline. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to do that. And then I disappeared down the drum corps rabbit hole all through high school. Also did classical percussion all through high school, and that's another story for another day. And then, of course, you guys know that I did a bunch of drum corps for a number of years, taught college lines when I was in school, and that's the thing. But then for my master's degree, went back and dug really deep for my undergrad and master's for classical percussion. So the point is, if there's an interest in marimba, timpani, snare drum, send me a message, tweet me, direct message me. Say something in the comments here, because I'll watch it on the replay here. I know I'm missing a lot of the comments here because I just want to move through this quickly and respect your time as we're talking through this. But if you are interested in this, the social proof that I hear from you guys through messages, through comments, If you go to the Periscope page and you say, Huei, awesome Periscopes, I love the rudimental drumming lessons, can you do a lesson on, go to the YouTube page. Huei, loved the concert snare drum video on Mitchell Peters' snare drum A2 number 14. Can you help me with the lesson on fill in the blank? I read all those comments, guys. I read all those comments, I respond to all those comments, and you know, right now at 1,000 followers, Gary Vaynerchuk talked about this a little bit in his video. He said, when I first started out, I had like 15 people following me, and I read and responded to every comment. And that's where I am right now. I'm able to literally read and respond to every single comment. He says, I can't do that now because he's got like a gajillion followers now. And what he said is he misses those early days because it was so intimate, and he felt like that it was a very tight-knit community. Like right now when I see CQ3840, I know that's Casey. Like I know all of you guys by first name because I go back and I look through and I'm meeting you guys. And it's going to get to a point where eventually, maybe, if it keeps growing, that it's going to get bigger where I won't be able to read and respond to every comment. I'm going to still try, but this is all to say that if you want a lesson on a particular topic, can I meet you in person one day? Absolutely, man. Come to Los Angeles and we'll hang. If you have a specific topic, there's a good chance I absolutely will see it, and I will do my best to answer it and help you guys. The whole purpose of this channel is that I'm trying to create content that is valuable and helpful to you guys. And if you let me know what you need and I can help you, I'm going to do it. Okay? So, that's it. Hearts. Yep. All right. Last announcement. So, in celebration of 1,000 followers, some exciting news that's coming up. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now because there's still some things in the works, but everything is, you know, like swirling around in the test tube, and things are starting to coagulate. It's coming together, and there's going to be some really cool stuff that's coming out probably at the end of this week or next week. Gary Vaynerchuk, couldn't find him. Vayner is V-A-Y, and not Vander, but Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk. I think if you do Twitter or if you YouTube Vaynerchuk. Yeah, thank you, Matt. Vaynerchuk. He's everywhere. To give you like the 10-second bio on him, he took his family's wine business and grew it from, I want to say these numbers might not be correct, but he grew it from like 10 million to 60 million, like some huge number. Basically, he created an online YouTube channel where he just drinks wine and talks about it, and exploded. Now he has a big media company called Vayner Media. Carl, maybe you can help me out with this. I just discovered him like a couple weeks ago. Carl introduced me to him, and I started watching his videos. Now, every morning, he's got this show called Ask Gary V, where he just answers business questions, and I listen to that on the way into work every morning. And guys, there's just so much good business content if that's your thing. Yeah, that's all right. Thanks, Carl. Okay, so back to what's happening, which is 1,000 followers. Got some exciting things to help that I want to announce because of 1,000 followers. So stay tuned for that, and make sure you follow. If you're interested in hearing more about that, follow here on Periscope, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the internet's things. And the thing that I want to leave with is Gary Vaynerchuk, who I've been talking about, and Seth Godin. Seth Godin is another like big media marketing guy. Seth Godin was on a Gary Vaynerchuk show. Discovered Seth Godin, started watching his videos, and last night I watched one of his TED Talks. And Mark, I know you're big into TED Talks, right? Saw his TED Talk from like his first one, and his topic was about how ideas spread. Okay, yep, tribes, yep. And I guess this is to say that right now I'm trying to create this content. We're building this community of people, but several of you have been extremely influential and helpful in helping me spread the content that I'm sharing right now. If you think these lessons that I'm giving or these handouts that I'm making are valuable, and you want to help me, and you want to help spread the ideas, please share this material with your friends. I mean, just think about it. I mean, Mark was talking about this for Gridbook, right? If you have one person at school who's like, yeah, this is good stuff, I'm digging it, and you tell all the percussionists at your school, your influence power goes from one person to 20, 30, 60, depending on how many people are in your school, right? So if you are into this Huckadix exercise and you go online and you print it out, don't just print one. Like, download. It's free, guys, and you can copy it. You can do whatever you want with it. Print it once, but print it like 5 times, and then give it to 4 of your friends, and then start playing it through school. Your teachers, students, this is a message to all the students, your teachers are overloaded right now. They've got too much to deal with, and what they need are student leaders that are going to take responsibility and ownership of the section. So, as a teacher, what I would tell my students is, print this handout for the entire drum line, and then you say, hey guys, let's meet 15 minutes early before the rehearsal, and we're going to learn this exercise together, and we're going to play it. Then multiply that by all the schools in the nation, and the community gets better at large. Exactly. And, you know, these are the guys. I'm talking Matt from Lot Riot. I'm talking Mark from Gridbook. I'm talking Carl Drum Tech. All these guys, we are working right now to elevate the marching percussion, classical percussion, music community as a whole, right? And the fact that you guys are hanging out with me on a Monday night and watching me talk about this means that you are into this. You guys are into community, you're into meeting people, and elevating what we do as a craft, as a group of people. And let me say this. If you haven't checked out the radio show from Gridbook and Lot Riot and listened to the story of how Lot Riot got started, you need to go to SoundCloud for Gridbook and check out that story. And Matt's story of just about how the funniest, coolest, smartest people that he knows all come from the drumming community. And like when he said that, I was like, yes, the smartest, funniest, coolest people that I know are all drummers. I mean, literally hanging out with a bunch of drummers is like going through comedy school. And they, you know, it's just like our brains are wired a little bit differently, and the best parties that you go to are the ones when it's just a bunch of drummers hanging out together and talking shop and ragging each other and giving each other a hard time, and it's just good times, guys. And I know for the guys who are watching this right now, being in the high school drum line or the college drum line or the drum corps drum line, those are such influential years. They are, you know, I can say very confidently, being around other percussionists and musicians are the people who molded and shaped me into the person that I am today, for a very large part. Of course, my family and my friends and my wife, of course, but the drummers and the percussion community. And what are we doing? We are elevating percussion in the music community. Okay? So guys, please, thank you. And man, I'm feeling happy today, Mark. Like Monday, just from literally 6 a.m. this morning when baby girl woke up to right now, I'm feeling jacked. Today was just such a good day, and I'm going to go home, I'm going to eat dinner, I'm going to spend time with my family, and I'm going to get right back to work because I'm just, woo, I'm feeling it today, guys. I hope you guys had a great Monday day. Guys, Pam from Mom, great job, son. Dinner's ready when you get. Guys, my mom is watching the scope, which is hilarious to me. For those of you that don't know, my mom's visiting from Texas right now. She's hanging out with us in California, and she's helping us with the baby. And she has been a lifesaver. If my mom's watching, there's a chance that my wife might be watching also, and she never watches my videos, which is hilarious. So, making cookies coming. We love you, Mom. Thanks. Hey, guys, hit Mom with some hearts over here, please. Last time I said that, I was like, boom, 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 hearts for Mom. Carl, you got to come over for dinner. Yeah, guys, tap this. Can you guys do this? Check this out. I learned this the other day. If you go like this on the screen, you can actually make a steady... One of the techniques that I'm working on is seeing if I can make a steady stream of my hearts come out when I'm watching people's scopes, and I'm digging that. 16,000, dude, Casey, thank you so much. As we're doing this, I do have a question for you guys as you're tapping here. Have you ever had the situation where you give a ton of hearts and then you end the scope, maybe you have to jump off early or something happens, and then you go back and you watch it and it shows that like you didn't give any hearts? That happened to me a couple times, and I felt bad because, like, you know, at the beginning of Gridbook yesterday, I was tapping, and then I came back afterwards to watch the replay for the second half, and it said I'd given 0 hearts. I was like, what's up, Periscope? And then, so I hit him back with some hearts on the replay. Replay viewers, if you're watching this and you want to give some hearts, you can tap some hearts. I think it might have something to do with watching to the end of the scope and getting out from there. I don't really know. If you know how this whole heart thing works and how to make sure they count, and you know where I can go to read about this, because I don't know the answer to that. I'm still figuring that out. So, okay. Anything else? Huckadeg exercises covered. Hearts. Give hearts. Yep. You guys are awesome. Everything's good. Monday. What time is it? 7:02. Woo! All right. I'm clocking out for the day, guys. I'm going home. Yes, it gave 15K hearts and gave me none. And it gave me none. Oh, no! It tells them which tallies in with the watch time. So if you don't watch enough, but then you give a bunch of hearts, then it doesn't count. Okay, I'm going to think about this. This is what I'm working on. If you guys have an idea about it, let me know. I'm officially casing Brohart. Hey guys, that's all good. I'm all for the bromances, because again, this is about percussion community, and we're hanging out. Okay, I'm going to end here, guys. We'll do a hang later this week, but I just wanted to check in and let you know that today was an awesome day. I hope you guys had an awesome day. We are building a percussion community here, and I'm so interested to keep learning and helping you guys. I want to know how I can help you guys. My brain is literally always thinking about, like, what's the next thing I'm going to create or do so that I can provide value for the percussion community. So let me know, guys. I want to hear from you. And yeah. All right, follow me. Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, hearts. Spread the love. Thank you, Carl. Have a good rest of the night, guys. Thank you much. Love your effect. Awesome stuff. Have a good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, HTHS Drumline. Thank you, Connor. Bye, guys. Happy Monday. Bye.